Welcome back to the Team 7 podcast. I am Zach. I'm joined with my boys Logan and Asher. We are on episode 27, covering episodes 77 through 82. It's 6 quick episodes in Naruto, but a lot of ground has been covered. A lot of information was given. We got some background with Asuma and Shikamaru. Hidan and Kakuzo are just going crazy this round. And we got some broken hearts, maybe. We'll see. We'll have to talk about it. So what do you guys think? What happened this week that you guys were fans
I don't know
of?
how you don't have a broken heart after this week.
It's tough. It's a tough one. And I definitely did not see it coming, but I definitely immediately understood what was happening, unlike when Choji was teased back in the OG Naruto episodes. But yeah, I am not happy with the way that we're just losing people left and right these days.
Yeah, I don't like it. Those Akatsuki are the worst.
Yeah.
There was the thing that really pissed me off is there was a split second where I was like, oh, his heart's still beating. Like Shikamaru's got his head down on Asuma's chest, and I was like, okay, cool, he's gonna be saved. And then Ino's like, Asuma even says like, I'm too far gone, and then Ino confirms it, and I was like, what are you doing to me here?
Yeah, playing with the heartstrings there, because I definitely felt the like, okay, whatever, just move on. He's gonna be back. He's Saratobi's son. Like, he's the Hokage's son. Like, come on. And sure enough, that last cigarette burnt out.
Yeah, it's tough. This is one of the I think one of the first big deaths that we see in the series. I'm trying to think of other people that we've seen pass in the show. But
just third Hokage, really, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. To my knowledge, that it was just the third Hokage that we saw actually die. We got the teaser with all of Neji, Choji, Kiba, and obviously they came back, and we've seen it a few different times now where people have been teased and then they come back. So I think you're exactly justified in being like, he'll be back. But I think that's what makes the sting a little bit worse. I think it also sucks that it's by the hands of Hidan, who just sucks.
My God.
I cannot.
Lance, you're awful. I'm just going to continue the rant.
I can't stand him, dude. He is so annoying.
It's annoying, Logan, because it's one of those characters that you're like, this should not be allowed. You shouldn't get your head cut off. You shouldn't turn into a skeleton. You shouldn't fuse your head back on. You shouldn't get stabbed in vital spots. And all of a sudden, you're fine. Actually, worse than that, you're feeling everything that I'm feeling, and it's going to affect you. It's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Come on. And it's definitely a tough villain. I will give the writers that, but it is so annoying to have to deal with this. What do you even call it? Dynamic of a character. I don't even want to say it's an ability. It's just, it's a cheat code.
It's
it's
horse shit is what it is.
Yeah, not fun.
They made him so hateable, and I do commend the writers for that as well. He is number one, the worst. I can't think of anyone on the show who I hate more. Because honestly, Orochimaru, kind of cool compared to all these other people. I get why he defected. He was like, these guys suck.
Yeah. Orochimaru is... It's not that he's got redeeming qualities in the show right now.
Right.
It's just that he's a cool villain. It's just you can acknowledge that he's cool. But Hidan, to me, and Kakuzu, they're just not there's nothing to redeem them. They're only annoying. They're annoying to each other. They're annoying to the characters. They're annoying to me. So shocking that there are people that are fans of these characters. One of which is Lance, who we've talked about before.
A former great buddy of ours.
Yeah. If someone was
Great.
supposed to be decapitated, it should be Lance.
Oh, good
Oh my
lord.
god.
Too far?
Just didn't
I
expect
don't know.
If his head can go back on like Hedon, then yes.
No.
But I'm not calling for
This
the
is
murder.
real world rules.
Yeah, Zach, you don't like the ability so much that even in this fantasy, we're not going to extend it to Lance. It's only death or nothing.
Correct. No, but honestly, like, he's hateable to me because I was starting to really appreciate Asuma. I was starting to really get behind, like, the disgruntled son who's never been able to amount to anything to his dad. But at the same time, his dad was never able to tell him how he really felt. You know, this arc that everyone's got a soft spot for. And even the background with Shikamaru when they're playing shogi and like teaching him the rules and like kind of being the father that he wanted himself. And I was like, okay, cool. Asuma, you know, kind of seemed like this too cool for school type of guy. Up until this point, I'm down to see him lead some missions and, you know, take the place of the leader role in a few more episodes. And next thing you know, as soon as I am a fan, Hedon like just, you know, especially with the same trap. Like he trapped him in the same thing twice. And that's what got me. It was like they didn't see it coming. And I think that's going to really, this is my just prediction. I feel like that's going to haunt Shikamaru for a while.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and because he, as soon as it happened, he immediately was like, "This is my fault. This is all happening because of me." So like he's definitely going to wear that.
And I feel like that's going to go on. I mean, with the foreshadowing of Shikamaru as Hokage, like if that ever comes to be, I just see it now where like that ceremony's happening. And he's like, I could have been here with this guy, and that was still my fault. And maybe that's something he's gonna have to like, you know, have that punch dance in the woods type scene, just being able to get over his own, you know, guilt, so to speak.
What a reference, by the way.
For
Hot
sure.
Rod. Love it.
Absolutely. Or Dirty Dancing, whichever.
So you think that they were foreshadowing him as Hokage?
I mean, he definitely said you're going to be a great Hokage one day, or you could be. And I was like, I put it in my notes. I was like, ooh, foreshadowing. Is that going to be before or after Naruto? Who knows? But I feel like they wouldn't have said that because I get a lot of Harry Potter vibes from the writers of the show. There's a lot of things that I feel like are going to come full circle because some of them already have, and things are being referenced from episode 2, you know? And I just don't think they would have put that in there for no reason. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Yeah. You guys have been wrong a lot, but it's really hard to make predictions in this show, especially with how many just out of the blue additions get added. And, well, I mean, seemingly out of the blue. But, I mean, even back to the Akatsuki members here, like, there's obviously Akatsuki members that we don't know. And those have been predetermined. There's little hints about them that the leader, who we've not been told the name, I don't believe, he said a reference to each of them and why they were fighting, basically. And so the characters are already decided upon at this point in the story, but we don't know them yet. So it does feel like it's out of the blue. So I don't discredit you guys for having some outlandish theories. And I think that that's what I love most because it's just not, you don't even know that it's outlandish. And I didn't know that it was outlandish whenever I was watching it for the first time because, I mean, good Lord, how do you predict something so crazy? So I don't know. back to the early fight, whenever we first see Hidan and Kakuzu coming out of the collection agency, and they've got this trap set up, and then it later is revealed that they have planned this trap a certain way, and Asuma ultimately does end up giving himself as a sacrificial pawn, um, and dies because of it. It's just like there's so much thought that goes into like all of their actions, but when I see this trap at the very beginning, it's like, couldn't we have done it like a little bit different? Like not that I'm any smarter, but like it fell to shambles like immediately. And they knew there were two of them, so it just kind of was. It's weird to me that like they just immediately reveal themselves while they don't see Kakuzu still. Just go for one before they get any intel on them beyond. Well, I mean, I guess how would they get intel on how their fighting style is? But like they chose the wrong one. Obviously, the first one they should have attacked would have been Kakuzu, and hoping that he would have said, "No, he don't stay out of this. I want this for the bounty with Asuma." So, and we could be looking at a very different story here because I think that if Kakuzu wasn't around, Hidan would have been defeated. And I think that that's just because ultimately he wouldn't have been able to get back to his body.
Right, because the beheading would have been like a final blow for him.
Yeah, not dead, but like he couldn't have gotten back. I mean, you could have at least like one of them ran away with his head somewhere.
I'm imagining somebody just picking up his head and be like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but knowing that, he would like grow a new body because he just can't. No rules apply to this guy.
Yeah, true.
Well, he doesn't have regeneration.
Who knows? Maybe he does. We just haven't seen it. I feel like they're just flying by the seat of their pants with this guy.
I'm telling you right now that he doesn't have regeneration.
Hey, speaking of the Akatsuki, I wanted to just sound off for a second because minus Orochimaru, they talk through 10 of them, or I think it's Shikamaru's talking through like the 10, right? So
there are 10 members.
Yeah.
There were 10 Orochimaru out, so now there's 9.
But did they mention that Toby is in? Because I didn't make a note of that, but I thought I remembered someone saying that. Do you all remember someone saying that in like
Toby's
79 or something?
Toby's not a part of the original 10. But he's in it now. Like he was in the the Two Tails, the ceiling of the Two Tails. He was in the ceiling of the Two Tails, and that was his first one. He wasn't there for Gaara's. And
gotcha.
So he's in the Akatsuki now, but no, he was not a part of that 10. And they're not entirely aware of Toby at this point. And they're not he went through and listed the ones they are aware of.
Okay, which would be Kisame,
Yes.
Itachi, Deidara, Sasori, who's dead. I'm just going to mention like there's the leader that we don't know anything about, and then there's Zetsu, and then Hidan and Kakuzu.
Yeah, so that'd put us at 8, right?
Yeah. So 2 more that we don't really know anything about.
Toby would make 11 in total, but you can go ahead and mention Orochimaru in that, which would make it 9, and then you're missing one who we really don't know anything about.
Okay.
So my question on this, with the ceiling of the Two Tails, are we to assume that they've captured Yugito from the last group of episodes?
Yeah, and they showed Yugito like being the tailed beast being extracted.
Yeah, it was kind of off in a distance, so I couldn't really make out who it was. But that stinks.
Yeah. There's like that first there's an up close from the side profile, and if you're not really like privy to like what she looks like, then like it's really easy to miss. But that's what they're inferring. That they had caught her, kept her alive, because it's very important for them to still be alive. And then did the extraction of the tailed beast. So and basically that happened in the last batch whenever they're coming out of the sewer. and then we see Hedon laying down, acting like he's dead, and then Kakuzu says something, and then Hedon says shut up, and then they get up and they leave, and they take the body with them. So it's kind of, if you're not kind of like already aware of the information, then it is very easy to miss.
That does suck though, because I remember last episode we were talking about like it would be cool to see her abilities or her fighting style, and now we got zilch, buddy.
Yeah, and for like the coolest looking tailed beast. That's what sucks. Like I wish that design somehow was attributed to Gaara's tailed beast, because it would be so much cooler because we got so much time with the Shukaku, I believe is what that is.
Yeah, the one tail with the insane voice. I want to go back and watch those episodes in dub and sub, because Shukaku sounds absolutely batshit.
Yeah. Speaking of the OG Naruto, the new episodes, I think they're released next week. Or at least like the first one is. I need to double check that, but remember they were postponed from September, and I think they're next week. Also, completely off topic for this anime, but I didn't know if you guys had heard that they're releasing a one-shot manga, which is like typically a one-off story. It's going to be 18 pages. Do you guys want to guess what anime it's going to be? Or what manga, what story it's going to be? I don't know. Franchise.
18 pages, and it's a what? It's like a
one shot. It's basically like you're going to get this one chapter, and that's it. Like, don't expect like a monthly or weekly release
of a completed story.
Just tell me what anime you think it's going to be.
Trigun.
Wow. Not Trigun.
I'm gonna go
Brotherhood.
Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah.
Wrong. Attack on Titan. March.
Boo.
What?
Yeah.
Dude.
So they're
to boo you. You're gonna get the reason for why it's justified.
The manga is getting, and I'm sure they'll adapt it and do like an episode on this, but the manga is getting an 18-page chapter release. It's set for like March 20 something of next year.
Well, the good news about that is once the anime counterpart of that is released, it'll be like 2032. So we can watch it when we're like
can't rush greatness, bro. Years old. Mappa's got a lot on their plate, dude.
This is arguably the biggest thing on their plate, though. So I want it to be right. And November is been a long time from that March release date, or February. I think it was February that last hour episode came out. So, but I just want to let you guys know that I think that's something to look forward to. Until we know the ending of Attack on Titan, it's really hard to speculate what that even is going to be, or if it's going to be a prequel of sorts, or what. 18 pages is really not long. So, like, not long at all. Like, that's very, very little information. So, it'll be interesting to see what it is. But back to Naruto. So, we spent basically. Oh, go ahead.
Before you go back to this group of episodes, I'm confused about this these new episodes of OG for like people like us. Do you think that they're going to reference things that people know already in Shippuden that we haven't seen? That's like, oh, this is why this came about, or whatever.
I think there's a solid chance of that. So what I'm planning on doing is watching it like simulcast.
Screen it for us.
Basically as soon as it comes out, and then screen it. Just to see. Because I would love for you guys to be able to watch it. But I would hate to have you guys watch it and then it be like a spoiler of sorts, or just so confusing that you're like, what? Like this makes no sense to me, because it's, focusing around a character that you've not met, or that doesn't have like the significance that you thought it would, or whatever. So I'll let you know. I really, really hope that it's. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be about, but I really hope that it's just more of Naruto and Sasuke. The thing is, if these episodes are based on the one shot um, chapter that came out in August or July sometime, then you guys will not be able to watch it until the end. Um,
Womp womp.
yeah, but I hope that it's not that, because when I read that chapter, it was like 52 or 53 pages. Like, I got to the end and was like, nothing, nothing happened. Like, I was so disappointed with it. It was based on Kishimoto had ran a contest to see like who would be voted the most popular character, and had he had hopes for certain people to win because he had story ideas for these people, and the person that won was not who he thought it would be. So he ends up writing this chapter based on the winner of that, and I just feel like it wasn't that good. Like, it was okay, but it just was like, it was like, okay, like if that was the first chapter of like 6 or even like 4, it'd be like, okay, cool, like we're getting into it. But it's not. It was a one shot, so like we get to the end and then it's just like, bye, we're done, and it's really unfulfilling. But once we are at the end, you guys should absolutely read it. It's worth reading because it is interesting enough to like spend the 15 minutes to read it, but it's nothing to like write home about at all. But yeah, so hopefully these episodes, I need to look and see, but hopefully these episodes are releasing next week, and then as they're releasing, I'll let you guys know if you could watch it or not. Because I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know if the episodes are like independent, or if it's like one story over 4 episodes or what. We'll see.
Yeah,
Got you.
it's good to know. I really hope that we're going to be able to watch them though.
Me too. I really, really would love to be able to even talk about them in the podcast and
Yeah.
just get thoughts on it, like as they're coming out. But if not, that's okay. We'll see. But yeah, so most of the batch here, I think 4 of the 6 episodes, and really just like 3 of the episodes. Last Words is kind of the end of the battle, but we've got most of it in the battle, and then we've got the kind of aftermath of what happens. So is there anything else before we transition to that like aftermath of the battle to like, is there anything you guys want to talk about in the battle?
Well, not in the battle, but just going back to last week's episode, it makes sense now why they kept flashing back to Kurenai for like seemingly no reason, just foreshadowing. Yeah. But it was such a, and I've mentioned this before in our OG Naruto episodes, but it just reminded me of like reality TV cooking shows. It's like, okay, this character or this person on this reality show was not featured in any camera shots, just B-roll, and all of a sudden they're like front and center. And that episode they get like voted out or whatever. Yep. They lose the competition. Yep. And that's how that kind of feels in retrospect of that last batch. So
yeah, absolutely. It's I think the beginning of 82, whenever Shikamaru is gone to tell Kurenai, is really well done. Like even the sound. What am I looking for, Asher? Like audio engineering here, the sound design.
Yeah,
is really interesting because like the music plays into it, and like she drops, and the music has like a beat drop at the same time, or not a beat drop, but like the music falls off at the same time. I don't know words, especially not words for music. That's your job. But yeah, I really think that they like to show off that they're in in HD as well too. There's a lot of really fluid, non-important scenes that are really fluid in animation.
Yeah, they just
I
looked
think
good.
nice, yeah. And like after Asuma dies and the rain is pouring down and Shikamaru turns away and walks away and he's like, I can still feel the smoke in his eyes, and like it shows that like side profile of Shikamaru, and it's so nice. It looks great, especially for the time. I mean, you gotta like think this is 2008 whenever these were releasing, so that's pretty good for 2008. I mean, obviously, probably gonna have people in the comments being like, "This doesn't compare to Jujutsu Kaisen," and like, yeah, of course. Now it's insane how good stuff looks, but for 2008, this is kind of top tier.
I think with what they had to, like, they wrote that scene really well because there's no dialogue exchanged, right? Like you just see her drop.
Yes, yeah. There you don't hear any of it. Well, you hear her cry.
Yeah,
But
you don't hear like the way Shikamaru chose to tell her or anything, which I think would have taken away from the moment. But
yeah.
They made it rough in the best cinematic way, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I think after you texted me about this, let's talk about Asuma's death and his last words. So he had some interesting last words for Ino and Choji. For Ino, it was basically like be a better woman than Sakura. Like specifically Sakura.
Win at romance.
Yeah. And then for Choji, he said that he could stand to lose a few pounds. And Choji was like, I don't know if it's possible, but I'll try.
Fighting through tears. I don't know if it's possible, but I'll give it a shot.
I think that's great. But the reason I bring this up is, who do you guys think the king is? Asuma, it gets brought up a few times, but Asuma had Shikamaru lean in. They purposely leave the audio out. And he whispers in his ear who the king is.
I think that the king, in reference to the shogi board, I think the king that needs to be protected is Naruto.
Okay.
Because of what he holds inside that was sealed. I think he's the last line of defense that we got to keep safe.
That's a very popular theory.
Okay.
Well,
I would say that if you're right or wrong, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Because it is. No, I'm like. It is a popular theory, regardless of if you're right or wrong. It's a popular theory.
So we still don't know, even.
No, I know. I know.
Oh. Well. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Naruto.
Okay.
So, I didn't put a specific person. Here's exactly what I put. Asuma's last words. I'm assuming the king is whoever is most important to you.
Okay.
And I mean, there wasn't a second. It's just so funny, Zach, how you and I think differently a lot, and interesting to me because there wasn't a second where I was like, it's a specific person. And now that you've said it, I was like, maybe I'm dumb.
I will say that that episode, Last Words, had and the episode following it, had a lot of, not foreshadowing, that's not the word I'm looking for. Maybe illusion might be the right word. Like it is, the episode itself does allude to who the king is a lot, but there's no way to know unless you know. And that's what's interesting for me, because this episode, because I do know who the king is, like I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Know why they're putting it in there. That's really interesting, like to see. So I know that purposely does not answer it for you guys, and I don't want you to know. I want the show to tell you because it's a nice payoff whenever you do find out from the show.
But see, that kind of confirms my theory because the reason I went to Naruto immediately, I didn't come up with that right now. I came up with that when I was watching it because I was curious who the king would be. And I just thought several times, like, that's weird that they would say that about Naruto.
Now you're definitely making me think that it is like a specific person that he's talking about. But I mean, I'm so invested in like the Asuma Kurenai like relationship that I was like, I mean, he's obviously talking about like a significant other. So one day it's going to be Tamari, of course.
Well, now you're making me not think that it's Naruto because you're doing the exact same thing that Asuma did to Shikamaru when he said it's the Hokage. He's like, a lot of people would like to guess that first. But one day you'll find out when it's no, like when you need to know or whatever.
Well, I'm not purposely doing that. I'm trying to just confirm that is.
And there's a shock factor.
What do you mean?
Because when he told Shikamaru's like, you know?
But that could be just the secret that Naruto has the Nine Tails in him. Because they don't know that. Like at this point in time, the only people that know it are like higher ups and then Sai and Sakura.
Wait, really? Because I thought that was pretty common knowledge from when he was like a child.
No, because like even remember whenever in episode 53, whenever Sasuke like goes into Naruto's mind and he's like, "Oh, this is where all your power is coming from." Like he didn't even know that he had the Nine Tails sealed inside of him.
That makes sense now why he was, I guess, surprised by that. But
yeah.
Okay. But all this time I was thinking that like those scenes where it shows him as a kid and everybody's like physically distance themselves from Naruto. It just seems like a lot more people would have known.
So the third Hokage put in a gag order after the Nine Tails attacked. So
yeah, you've said this before too.
Yeah.
I forgot.
So those parents do like know that like there's a monster inside them, but they cannot tell their children. They can't talk about it. So that's why they're like really distanced from him, and they teach their kids to be distant from Naruto, but they don't even know why. And that's why Shikamaru, whenever they're kids, like we got some like throwback episodes or throwback scenes in a few episodes ago where like Kiba and Shikamaru are like escaping from Iruka with Naruto, and Shikamaru's like, "I like Naruto. I don't understand like why everybody's so like mean to him."
But he wouldn't have known at that time. Shikamaru wouldn't have known, right?
Yeah,
he's just a great guy.
Yeah. So, and that's part of the reason why it's so shocking for people to see Naruto win. Because for us, it's like, oh, like he's got the Nine Tails. Like, of course, like he's got this incredible amount of chakra to deal with and everything. But for people watching, like specifically with the tuning exams, like they see him beat Kiba and they're like, this kid has no talent. Like, how is he doing this? And it's like more confusing to them because they don't know that information. So, Zach, I say that to say that, like, don't look too much into what I'm doing as a confirmation or not into if your theory is correct or not.
Well, but here's the other thing. It's snip, snap, snip, snap with you right now. Like, you said, well, maybe he was just telling Naruto about the Nine Tails. Why would he be telling Naruto about the Nine Tails if he wasn't the king?
You mean Shikamaru, the Nine Tails, and that's fine. What do you mean by that?
Because when I brought up why, like, it made me think it was Naruto because Shikamaru was shocked And you were like, well, maybe he was just telling him about the Ninetales.
Yeah. You said that you didn't think it was Naruto.
Okay, but why would that be the time to tell him when he's telling him about the king if Naruto's not the king? Here's the king.
I'm
Oh,
not.
also Naruto's the nine-tailed fox.
What?
Here's the thing, though. Shikamaru had to have known that already, right? Because of his rank at that point.
No.
No.
Really?
That's what he was just explaining.
Yeah, that's what I was explaining. There's still a gag order.
That's what makes me say, like, my theory was Naruto's the king. And you were like, that's a very popular theory. Cool.
Yes, it is.
And then I said, but why would Shikamaru be shocked? And you said, well, maybe he was telling him that Naruto was the Ninetales. And I said, well, if that's the case, why would he be telling him that if he wasn't the king? And he's like, oh, here's the king, but also Naruto's the nine-tailed fox. Like,
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say your theory has some validity to it because he could be saying that Naruto is the king and here's why.
I thought you were trying to deflect me.
No. I'm trying to give it some validity. I'm not trying to say it's right, but that's part of the reason why it was such a popular theory that Naruto was the king is the king. To me it was, but to you it is. But I don't read into what I'm saying right now too much, but basically I'm just trying to say that that it's because of that information that it was such a popular theory.
Yeah, I just hate this terminology because it doesn't mean he's a king of anything. It's just a shogi piece.
Yeah. But it's more or less just like what you need to protect the most.
Right.
Yeah.
It's your final stance in a chess match.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is it Tamari or what?
It's Tamari, yeah.
Now you've crapped
It's
on
a girl
Zach's
from
opinion.
a different village.
Crap on my opinion now.
Yeah, I mean, for your theory though, Asher, also a very good theory because it is different
in different situations.
Yeah, or just different to each person. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do think it could be different for different scenarios for Shikamaru because, I don't know, maybe Asuma was the king in that scenario. I mean, at this point, it seems like Shikamaru thinks that because he is taking all the blame for it, and didn't realize, for as much of a strategist as he is, he didn't realize what Asuma was doing or what he should be doing in response. What, Zach? What?
Yeah, what?
I'm gonna behead you. I'm coming to not where you live. I don't want to tell everybody where we live.
Sorry,
I don't know if it matters.
So, for the people listening on the podcast, I made a face, but I did not mean to make that face when I did. I will let you finish your theory, and I will say something later.
No, that's
I did not. It was it was gut reaction. I did not mean to cut you off.
All right, go ahead. He's done.
All right. So my counter to that is yeah, that's a good idea that it's whatever's most precious to you or whatever you said. I get that. And if they were talking about something else, but they were strategizing the pawn piece of the strategy of the village. They were strategizing is Asuma the
is Asuma the what? What's the matter
is
with you?
Is Asuma the sacrificial pawn? And
right.
In that game that they were referencing before, I don't think it was a, hey, we're about to go on a mission, let's play a game real quick. I feel like that was when he was growing up and learning the ropes of shogi in general, and he was kind of teaching him the ways of the village and the shinobi. So I do respect the idea of whatever is closest to you or whatever means most to you, but that can't be the same thing for the village as a whole if you're strategizing as a shinobi. because the shinobi have a code and they abide by a government that there are rules in place and like cultural like standards. So to me, there has to be a collective king for the village.
Well, I wouldn't disagree with you on that, but I think Asuma telling Shikamaru that in that moment, that's part of it, but it's like also bigger than that and smaller than that. If that makes sense.
So he could have been like, the king is for your own personal journey, whatever's closest to you, but for
Yes.
the village, it's Naruto.
Yes.
And then we're both right.
Yeah,
Sure.
and that's honestly so close to verbatim.
Why?
Like it's crazy.
That's what I thought, because it was kind of a long, like, it was a long whisper for it to just be like, whatever's closest to you, whatever means most to you. You know, I mean, it would have been like, whatever is. I mean, he wasn't even out
He
of
was
breath
dying.
at that point. So, yeah, like, but also he gave a message to Kurenai. So who knows? Who knows what was said in
Well,
that whisper?
Here's the other thing too. He had those last words for like Ino and Choji, and I mean, maybe he was giving Shikamaru some extra last words or something. Here's what I really wanted to have happen, because those were like slightly comedic moments at the worst possible time, or just the weirdest time for this show to be doing something funny.
What's funny about that, bro? He died, dude.
Death is funny, but I really wish Shikamaru would have been like, what? Like he couldn't understand him. Like if they're gonna do something funny in that moment, just
That
keep
would
it going.
kill me. That would have killed me. I would have loved it.
Wait, what? No, what was the last thing?
Let's talk about the dedication to smoking. In your last moments, you've already been punctured like 3 times with the scythe, and then another time through the heart. And I don't know enough about Hiran's jutsu to know if like it does puncture or just do the damage or what, but like assuming he did get the puncture of the scythe, you would think his lungs would have been hit. So like kind of crazy he was alive, but even more crazy that he was able to smoke that cigarette. That's some dedication. More dedication to the cigarettes than to Kurenai for sure.
Do you think that last one though had like a little something extra in it?
You think that? Are you asking me if I think that he smoked a little bit of weed to get a little high before he died? Is that
Not
what you're
weed.
asking me right now?
Not weed.
What do you think?
Who knows? It's Naruto universe. It could be something.
But
Wild.
you're asking me if he's made a spliff for his death.
Yeah. What I'm saying
I'm gonna
is,
tell you right now that is a terrible theory and
what
not
I'm
true.
saying, but you're acknowledging it's a theory at least. What I'm saying
I
is
mean,
when
yeah,
he's
I have
whispering,
to.
when he's whispering in Shikamaru's ear, he is tripping his balls off.
Ooh,
He doesn't know what
I
he's
can get
saying.
behind that. Never mind. Change my mind. I think
Third
that
theory.
the king is basically whatever he smoked, and he just he whispered something in his ear like "get fucked, loser," and like that was it. Could you imagine? So yeah, Asuma bye bye land goes to the cemetery. Pretty sad news. Name of the next episode. So Naruto back in training now. Wanted to talk about that with you guys. The
Hang
audacity.
on, we're glossing over the funeral.
Okay.
I-
Sorry.
I've-
I got hung
I've-
up on the audacity of Sakura. Sorry.
Sure. I have ragged on my boy Konohamaru for a while, but that kid has been through the ringer
Mm-hmm.
on just I don't know, people that he's lost that he loves. And I don't know, I feel bad for Konohamaru. It's the first time I've ever like felt sympathy for him, but also I just
Yeah, he's been dealt a tough hand. First of all, he's got to deal
he's
with
weeping.
Ebisu. Yeah.
True.
But then his grandfather and then his uncle. And I don't know, maybe Lore Master knows. I don't know the state of Konohamaru's parents. To my knowledge, I don't know if we ever see them, at least not in like the canon stuff. I mean, maybe there's a filler arc out there that shows his parents, but and I could just be blanking on.
Maybe they died in the Great War.
Or it could be that. It totally could be that. I don't know. Because they weren't there. You would think that they would be at the funeral.
Right.
True.
So maybe they did die in the Great War. That's a great point. Well, I don't know if Konohamaru would have been old enough for that. But they could have died in battle or something. But, yeah, been dealt an extremely tough hand. Just poor kid. I mean, that's kind of...
It was a detail I couldn't gloss over because it was the first time in this show that I was like, because he legitimately annoyed me for episodes.
Yeah.
And I saw him crying this time and I was like, bro, that's got to be tough.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. He was awesome, huh?
Mm. And the funeral was... I like that this funeral was very small. That it was like the people that were in Asuma's life. I mean, like a normal funeral. And then Shikamaru ended up telling that woman, and it became evident that like people knew that a shinobi had died, but it was unaware, or that she was unaware that it was specifically Asuma. I think that gives like good context to like how funerals actually happen, because obviously the Hokage dies and everybody's like attending because it's the Hokage.
Right.
But for like an actual shinobi funeral, that it's just sad. It sucks. Even now watching this batch, I was like, I do not want Asuma to die. Like it sucks.
It was a tough one for sure.
So before Naruto gets the information, he's training, and I wanted to bring up the audacity of Sakura to bring more just like little ass balls and have them in a basket ready
With
to
that
go.
grin on her face too, like
Yeah.
like I'm about to do some damage on this boy's stuff.
And then whenever Sai says something about him tasting bad, she's like, I go for quality over flavor. And it's like, dude, shut up.
Save it.
Yeah. Oh, man. So I just, that was, for me, was a detail I could not gloss over. It just was, it irked me, and I didn't like it.
She's
But
not useless.
Sai's growing
but
on me each other.
She's being annoying, but not useless. Sorry, Sai's growing on you.
Yeah, just his comic relief, like him tricking Sakura into like knowing that she believes in Naruto, and like that was his only point in this whole group of episodes was to just be like, told you believed in him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go. Here's my cartoon umbrella.
Yeah, just like claws onto her arm, and he just like walks away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I really like Sai, and I am happy that you're growing fond of him as well. But Naruto finally getting a little bit of like traction on that new jutsu. We got to see like a little glimpse of it, and then I love that Kakashi's like, I'm really starting to like grow fond of you. And then Naruto immediately was like,
Yo, you're acting weird, Kakashi Sensei.
yeah, he immediately was like so freaked out and was like, and even Kakashi was like played into it and was like, I just don't have words to put to it. I don't know. I really like you, and I loved it, man. I think it's so like it was really nice comic relief. After a lot of like heavy just episodes, because I mean, really from like we knew something was gonna happen, kind of from like 72. It was just been building up, so we didn't know it was going to be a death. I didn't know if you guys thought that. I mean, I guess we kind of covered that. If you guys thought it was going to be a death or not, but or like if Awesome was going to actually die. But yeah, it's weird. So last thing I really wanted to talk about, unless you guys have other points, was what do you think is going to happen next? So we saw Team 10 gearing up, ready to go, and then Tsunade stops them, and then Kakashi decides to join them and be their leader. And then the last thing that's said is like Team Osmo, let's go, or something along those lines.
Wait, did they all put their hands in and say Team Awesome, let's go?
No, it was a
Did they go
I mean,
Power Rangers?
They might have, but Kakashi is the one that said it. But we were seeing like a landscape of the village, so
Yeah,
like,
that's
we
right.
couldn't
That's
see
right.
them whenever it was said. So yeah, what do you think's next?
I'm gonna make a bold prediction. They kill one of them.
They kill one of them. Okay,
Of the
That's my
Akatsuki?
prediction. Yeah,
because they are going back for him.
I mean that's their mission.
I think that they're going to interrupt the Two Tails sealing.
Okay,
That would be awesome.
that would be awesome. And I don't actually know who's in person for this one because you remember. Oh, I guess it would be. That's interesting now that I think about it because so Sasori and Datara are the ones who got Gaara, and then they were the ones that were in person for the extraction. Everybody else basically zoomed in. But for this one, Kakuzu and Hidan were the ones that got, I forget her name, but the Two Tails. And
Yugito Ni.
thank you. They got Yugito. But they still zoomed in for this.
Yeah, so where is she being extracted?
Well, no, she was actually right. But why were they not there for it?
Right.
Whenever they were the one, because they had to take the body there, and then they go for, or maybe they gave it to Zetsu and we weren't shown that. I don't know, but Zetsu didn't. He seemed to be the hologram as well. I didn't see the one person that was. Yeah, I didn't see the one person that was like in person, and maybe it's not necessary. Lore Master, let us know. But I've never thought about this before, but that's really weird to me that Hidan and Kakuzu wouldn't be the ones that are in person the way that it was implied that before it was Sasori and Datara.
Yeah. Well, that's part of what this is like an outlandish prediction. Like I'm 50-50 on whether or not I think it's actually going to happen, but the fact that they're kind of wherever they are, just in the wilderness somewhere, just in the woods, I guess.
Yeah.
Makes me think they're a little bit of like sitting ducks there.
Right.
Because they have to stay focused on that. And the leader guy said it was going to take multiple days.
Last time for Gaara, it took 3 days. And for this one, it's also 3 days.
Yeah.
That's just the jutsu.
And they're not in cover because Hidan even said it's raining where we're at.
Right.
Right.
So
really didn't think that one through.
Yeah, it's just interesting because
it's like, okay, well, pause. We'll go find cover and come back.
Right. I would be like, yeah, if it's 3 days, like I'm gonna get somewhere no one's gonna find me. I'm not just gonna be like in the woods somewhere. And I guess they probably are somewhere no one's gonna find them. But yeah, so okay, so your prediction is they're going to kill one of them. Do you have a guess on who?
I mean, my guess would be Kakuzu because he doesn't seem to be immortal.
Immortal? That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay. What about you, Zach?
I don't want to make a guess because I don't think they're going to kill somebody.
Okay. Okay, so you think that they're going out, but they're not going to get the kill.
No, I think it's too early for an Akatsuki kill, especially after Asuma.
Okay. We've had one death already. And then I forgot to bring this up. So the Leaf believed that Datara is dead. And even Shikamaru was like, I have my doubts. He says that in the like review
When he's looking at the
who they
village.
know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we see Datara in the hologram form. And
Right.
so that's and I think actually we got confirmation at the end of that arc, now that I'm thinking about it, that they like pulled Datara back together. Because he got split up somehow. His body got like.
Well, he really only lost an arm that we saw, right?
Yeah, I guess that was it. And they were looking for his arm.
So another detail of this last little bit is we got a new village landscape, and we finally heard the Akatsuki's goals, which was interesting.
Yeah,
So
super interesting.
This village looks like it's pretty cyberpunk. Like it looks like a futuristic, like, dystopian style place. Purple.
Like it.
Looks very grungy, almost like Gotham from the 90s with George Clooney. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got the goals from our shadowy rainbow unknown figure, which are money to start, building the first mercenary shinobi army to be able to carry out tasks of war, unloyal to any village.
Monopolize war.
Yes. And then world domination. Like every other freaking villain.
Yeah.
See, okay.
World domination.
Now that's why when it got to that part, I was like, okay, great. But the reason I think like that's not super, I don't even know the word I'm looking for. It's not that interesting to me, like world domination, just because it's so like, I don't know, woo-woo, up in the air. But I think the story behind the main leader is going to be what does it for me. Like, why is he even looking to do any of that? Because we didn't get really any reason behind it. We just got the what, not the why.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I can tell you guys what village I was if you want. We will find out, obviously. Or we can just, we can either wait or I can tell you.
I want to save it.
I want to save it.
Save it. Totally down for that. So next, we have episodes 83 through 90. Last week, I misquoted. I started looking ahead and realized that this arc is weird. And it does kind of finish up on 88, but there's stuff in 89 and 90 that it's manga canon and it pertains to this. So I didn't want to, it'd be easier just to put it in this one. So we're going to go 83 through 90 this time. And then we'll be into our next arc fully instead of kind of having like this little like overlap on both. We can kind of just round out the story all at once. So yeah, 83 through 90. Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about before we sign off and let the weebs tell us we're wrong?
Yeah, we have 2 packs to open.
Oh, yes, you're right. You're right.
We forgot to open a pack last week, y'all.
So we can double them up.
Connor, sorry, dude, but you are the man.
Hey, while Logan's looking for those, and I might just cut this, but there were 2 people in the comments on TikTok. One of them was like, did you all even watch the show? And the other one was like, is this a joke? And I saw the first part of the comment, and sometimes I'll see the first part and just know if it's going to be a spoiler or not. But I responded to him and I was like, it's our first time watching it. I was like, one of us has seen all of it. 2 of us, it's our first time. And
I'm happy you responded that way.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I was like, you didn't think for a second? Like, you think we're just
People
stupid?
don't, dude. They don't. They immediately go to the comment section and just get mad.
I'm going to make another clip real quick. For anyone in the comments that don't understand what's happening here, this is my first time watching Naruto ever. And Asher's first time watching Naruto ever. So, I don't know. Lay off.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. So into the pack.
Hey, for anyone in the comments who doesn't understand what's going on, this is my first time ever watching Naruto. And it's Zach's first time too. So, lay off.
Hey, for anybody in the comments, this is my umpteenth time watching Naruto, and I'm still stupid. So if you can help me and go into the comments section and just say everything I don't know, which is most of it, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So first we have.
For anyone in the comments.
No, we're not doing it anymore. We got 3 good clips. So we have
What's up, Gala?
Gotta.
And then we have
Baby
young Sakura. I have
What's
to
up?
check for myself so that you guys don't get spoilers. Young Sasuke.
Nice to meet
Cool.
you.
We can't do that one. And then we have there it is.
Is that
We have
Kiba?
young
Kiba?
Kiba. So a lot of like the OG
Youngsters.
besides and actually this is Gaara
OG.
from OG. This is
Yeah.
Yeah.
really
that's-
interesting. This is from like the Kimimaro era of
Baby
fights.
Gaara.
Young gun.
Yeah, baby Gaara.
Baby
All right,
Gaara.
we'll go into the second pack as fast as possible.
I don't know what it means, but I like it. Gets the people
right.
going.
Shino.
What's up, Shino?
Shino.
Thought Aoba, or however you pronounce his name, was Shino's new look.
Dude, we've gotten most of these cards before. Oh my god. Is that Genma?
Ginma?
Is
Oh,
that
no,
or
it's in
not? No,
Japanese.
it's not. No, it's in Chinese.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Neji?
What's up, Nedge?
OG Neji.
The Nedgester.
This is an SR of Aruka.
What's up?
Wow.
Ooh,
Nice.
boy.
Look at
Who's in
his
the
HP
background
numbers.
there
Who's in the background?
of Iruka's?
It's just like randoms.
Oh,
So Connor, he's a wild man. So he comes over the other day and he's like, "Hey, I've got something for you," which is sadly pretty common. Not sadly, but like he is crazy, dude. Like he'll just buy me stuff. So he buys me this other box from the same, like a new expansion of these cards that extends into Boruto. And I just want to show it to you. Hang on one second. I don't know if I can. I need to make sure.
Dang.
I can't really show you all of it, but like look at this. Like it's huge. First,
Oh my gosh.
and then it's got
Could
like
fit.
Gaara on this side.
You can fit at least 10 cards in there.
At least 10 cards.
12
So
maybe.
we can open one of these.
13.
These are really.
I'm gonna
cool.
go. The total number is 798.
That's
I'm gonna
wrong,
do-
actually.
I'm going to do $1. $1.
Are we opening a whole box?
No, we're not opening a whole box. I just need to figure out if I can get this pack open.
The bite.
Dude, it's
He's going
so
for
tough.
the bite.
It's so tough.
So why is it Chinese instead of Japanese?
I don't know. That's what Connor told me. I thought it was. I don't know the difference. I thought it was Japanese.
Ugh.
Ugh,
It's a real Steve Brule right there.
weak. Okay, so some of these are repeats because of they are. So we've got the Shino again.
Dang.
Which
Is that the
nice.
third Shino?
Yeah, it is. There's
OG
young Naruto.
Believe it.
Yamato. Pretty cool.
Cool.
Got some like
Yamato.
rainbow.
Like that
You probably can't
background.
really like tell, but oh, there it is. You can tell right there.
Ooh, got a sheen.
There's Ino.
You know?
And then the boy.
Yeah, look at that guy.
It's like
Wow.
really 3D.
Is that Mike guy or is that
That is Mike
Rock?
Guy.
Talk about Mike guy. I missed that dude. I want to see
Yeah.
more of him.
He was there crying at the funeral.
Funeral, yeah.
I know. That's what made me be like, oh man,
Yeah.
we need more
Reminded you
Mike
of him.
guy.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that new pack. Crazy. All right. So episodes 83 through 90. Thanks for tuning in with us and sticking through all of our pack openings, which I need to have the pack ready next time. I had it ready last time and we just completely forgot. So
And a special thanks to our friend Connor.
absolutely. Special thanks to Connor. Special thanks to Lance for the beheading, you know?
Yeah, way to suck.
Way to suck.
Sucks to suck.
All right. We'll see you next time. 83 through 90. Goodbye.